Sagittarius, this May is a hugely important month for the year, astrologically speaking. We have an eclipse in Scorpio on the 5th, and we also have Mercury retrograde during this time as well. And there's a lot of focus on really changing your life kind of by focusing on your mental health and wellness. I do get the feeling that many of you will be having a epiphany or this paradigm shift that is causing you to let go or release any self-limiting beliefs or bad habits and really create routines that are healthy and work for you. And these habits, these good habits that you are building this month are really going to give you momentum for the next year and really help you live in a more aligned and authentic way. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you're always up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. For those of you who are ready for a deep dive, you can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions in the description of this video, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. So as I'm shuffling the cards for you, Sagittarius, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the astrology. As we mentioned, we do have a full moon lunar eclipse this month. It is in Scorpio. And I'm going to be honest, this one might come with a bit of a sting. The moon is actually considered traditionally in its fall in the sign of Scorpio, because Scorpio brings up a lot of intensity. It brings up a lot of really big emotions. We just had a lot of cards fly out for you. And I'm looking here with the Death card. This feels very much like the Scorpio energy that we are talking about right now. And eclipses usually bring up endings. They usually bring up culminations or change, transformations that we as humans tend to resist. And it feels like for you, you're rethinking what your happiness means with the Death card and the Nine of Cups here. And I feel like some of you are stepping away taking some time for yourself this month. With the Five of Swords and the Temperance card here, this is advice for you. As well as the Four of Cups, even. I feel like there's a lot of people who want to connect with you this month, Sagittarius, and it feels like you have this call or this pull to kind of retreat or to focus on your healing or to find balance. Or homeostasis is actually a word that's coming up for me. I'm feeling like with this group, something is shifting this month where you might not be connecting with people you once connected with. Like you're having a hard time relating with them. Especially with coworkers, actually. I know that's oddly specific, but with Mercury retrograde in Taurus, which is going to be retrograde until the 14th, you might actually be having some difficulty or some challenges or opposition at work or with your peers in some way. And that's why you're kind of going in this healing mode and also really connecting with what it is that you actually want with the Nine of Cups. Because I feel like this group might have been lying to themselves a little bit. You might have told yourself that you wanted something. You really believed you wanted a specific job or a relationship because you thought that was the thing that was going to make you happy. And maybe regardless of whether or not it has, you're realizing there's something deeper here. There is this deeper incompletion or this deeper yearning. And some of you are sitting with yourself in meditation. And it's like It's funny because I do get the sense, Sagittarius, there are people trying to talk to you or reach out to you or even offer you opportunities that at one point felt like something you wanted, but for some reason you're hesitant to take it, or it's not registering the way you thought it would for you. Wow, Ten of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles. This really does feel connected to like a job to me. Or some source of stability or security, or just what's familiar to you. And we have the Queen of Wands in the future. Yeah, you want to connect to your passion. And it's like, okay, what I just got for you, you spend so much of your time, Sagittarius, telling yourself why you shouldn't do something or why you're not good enough to follow your passions or to do the thing that really lights you up. And maybe this is so deeply rooted that you don't even know what these things are. You never allowed yourself to really explore or wonder about those things, maybe since you were a child. And part of the energy this month, it's like, it feels harsh, it feels heavy, but it's actually a blessing in disguise because let me tell you why. The life you're living right now, for a lot of you, is sort of built off this idea of chasing after stability. Or trying to find the stability that's not actually stable for you. Because if you're living a life that's not aligned for you, guess what? You're not going to be able to sustain it. It's not going to nourish you. You're going to burn out. And it feels like you're finding something that feels better, or you're looking for that. You're searching for that. And I feel like there's this thing, maybe some of you are very creative, or I feel like performers maybe, or you want to be on social media or doing something that feels like you're actually working your dream job or your passions. And it's almost like saying no to a traditional life. Like that's a part of this too. Um what else do we have? What else do we have for Sagittarius? The Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like there's this new beginning. If you are looking for a job, or you're trying to start a new business, or you're thinking about the future in some way, I do feel like you are planting a seed, and it feels very fiery. It feels very passionate. I feel like you're finding true stability in something that you're passionate about. And like I was saying, a lot of you spend so much of your energy trying to tell yourself no, or to reject what it is that you really want. And if you just use a fraction of that energy, because it is willpower, actually, when you are using your force of will to force yourself to not do something you want to do, that's willpower. But you're using it in a negative way. And I feel like a lot of you feel like, oh, I'm not disciplined. I can't stick to a routine, or I can't do this thing that I'm supposed to be able to do. But the truth is, it's because you're already using so much of your will to kind of push your own energy back, or to keep your own energy almost like dammed up. And I really feel like instead of telling yourself, no, the thing I want is too lofty or it's unrealistic for me, what if you just strategize? What if you just came up with ways or brainstormed ways to make it happen? Because I feel like you can. I feel like the group of people I'm connecting to can realize their dreams. You can have your dream job. You can, I feel like, be a star, or like there's something here even. I feel like your hard work is going to pay off over the next year when we have Jupiter in Taurus, especially. Whatever it is that you are dedicating to each day, even if it's just a little bit, will have that extra push. It will go the extra mile. And if you want to be lucky in the next year, it's about doing. It's about having a practice. And again, in a way that makes sense for you. And even though this energy is really intense this month, Sagittarius, things do stabilize, actually. We have Mercury going retrograde on the 14th, and this is helping us kind of get on the same page with people. We're sort of playing catch up after this point. Mercury is moving forward again. It was going backwards, retrograde, and it could have brought up a lot of confusion, a lot of miscommunication. And for you specifically, that could be involving things like your routines, your daily grind, as well as your health. And now you're kind of catching up and you're sort of integrating like, oh yeah, these are the things I need to be doing in my day to day. And these are the things I need to do to take care of my mental health. And then we have Jupiter entering into Taurus just 2 days after that on the 16th. Jupiter brings luck, expansion, opportunities. Again, it gives you that extra push. It makes that area of our lives easier, wherever it is in our chart. And for you, it's in your 6th house of health, routines, of work. So all of these things are starting to come more naturally to you, and it's going to help you grow and expand and give you the opportunities that really excite you. And then we have a new moon in Taurus on the 19th, and this is actually really beautiful because I was talking about how the moon is traditionally in its fall in the sign of Scorpio, which is why this eclipse can feel pretty intense on a lot of levels. But the new moon in Taurus is exalted and it's very stabilizing. It's kind of this period of getting back on our feet. And so if you just feel really burnt out and really depleted in the first part of this month, Sagittarius, and you just need to take care of yourself, give yourself that time. You will get your energy back. You will get this spark back, this vivaciousness back. And I feel like you're going to find the energy to do something that surprises you. But it brings a lot of stability. Are there any other messages for Sagittarius? Any other messages this month? I did get the 10 of Cups. I do feel like there's some very positive news, some happy news, especially in your relationships. And I feel like you're figuring out what happiness means for you. I was talking about that with the 9 of Cups, where, and the Death card, it's like your traditional idea of happiness is changing, and you're realizing what true happiness looks like to you. You're realizing what your dreams are. And that they're actually more possible than you may realize right now. And with the sun entering into Gemini, as we go into Gemini season towards the end of May, there is a lot of focus on partnerships, on relationships that could be romantic, but that could also be networking. That could be a partnership, like a business partnership. There's just a lot of focus on those one-to-one relationships or one-on-one relationships. But I feel like there's something very harmonious and beautiful happening there for you. What else do we have? We have the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, I feel like relationships, you're figuring out who is really worth your time and energy. And like, I feel like a lot of you are trying to find happy people, or like there are negative people in your life who are sort of just falling away. And there are people who are just kind of overflowing with passion or joy. It's like when you are doing the things you love, you start to attract people who do the same thing as well. Or you kind of inspire people who are ready to receive that energy. And for some of you, I really do get the sense like there is this potential partner, whether this is a business partner or creative partner, someone you are collaborating with. But there's a really nice flow here. And maybe you're just, bouncing ideas off of someone. That's how this energy could be manifesting too. I feel like that's going to come in the second half of this month, where you have very productive conversations with people or new opportunities that come with people. Are there any other messages? I'm going to pull an animal card for you, Sagittarius. What is the animal message? Okay, I'm going to shuffle the deck, but I just had a bunch of cards fall out, and the moth card came out in this pile, and I've been saying, I feel like this card just keeps coming out. The moth represents a transformation. The moth represents the dark night of the soul, where we are going through this period of almost like a waning period, where we're losing or releasing. And it's temporary. It's not a forever thing. And in kind of losing what we were or what we had, we are ultimately transforming into what we are meant to be. And that's just a message that is, I think, very poignant for the collective right now. And it's funny, last night I actually had several dreams with moths in them. So I feel like if you're watching my channel, if you are a vibrational match to me, there is a very strong connection with moths right now. For you, I also do have the buffalo, which is about a slow, steady, consistent energy, even if the weather feels stormy around you, okay? And it's about being very grounded spirituality. And I feel like having a very solid meditation practice, very solid magical or spiritual practice, something like that is going to be very helpful. And I feel like you are literally backing up your efforts with manifestation, with magic. And I think that's going to be really powerful in the second half of May. Again, we don't really do a lot of manifestation work or intention setting around eclipses. At least most people recommend not doing that. And I mean, when you're working with eclipses, the energy can be very chaotic. It can be very intense and even dark in some respect too, because it's like you have this kind of play of light and darkness. But I feel like working with manifestation, working with affirmations is going to be really important in the second half of May, particularly around the 16th and 19th, when Jupiter enters into Taurus and we have the new moon in Taurus. That's a really important thing, I think, or a really important practice to implement around this time. Are there any other animal messages? Any other animal messages for Sagittarius? We also have the camel. Two very spiritual animals here. I actually do get something about a pilgrimage or going on a spiritual journey, going on a spiritual quest. And the weirdest thing is I am actually remembering the story The Alchemist. It is a novella by Paulo Coelho. And the thing that's actually coming to my mind is there is this moment where Santiago, the protagonist, in his journey, in his quest, he ends up breaking a crystal, like glass, at a crystal shop. And so he spends a year working in that crystal shop to pay off his debt, and he actually saves money. And during that time, he builds a nice relationship with the shop owner. He kind of builds a life there, and he almost forgets about his quest. He almost forgets about his journey. But then once his debt is paid, once the year has passed, he's encouraged by the owner to resume his journey, to go back on his journey. He remembers the journey. And so he returns. And I feel like some of you are remembering the spiritual journey. You're remembering this process of alchemy, of fire in water with the camel. And I really do feel like you are a very calm energy. You're very centered, or it's important for you to be very centered. I feel like there's a lot of things happening around you, kind of with the lightning storm, or even with like the heat of the desert. But both of these animals have a very calm or serene or just composed look to them. And so I feel like you are very steady, you are very calm. And I feel like that's coming from some sort of habit you are implementing, whether that's exercise, meditation, just eating better. It's shifting your whole mindset. And it's actually helping you in all areas of your life. So, whatever change you're making to one area of your life, whatever change you're adding, it's going to affect you very holistically, and you're going to feel that. And I think that's everything for you, Sagittarius. I do hope that this was helpful. Again, be sure to hit like and subscribe and that bell notification so you don't miss out. I do also have links in the description box, so if you're looking for personal readings or distance Reiki sessions, you can book on my website. I don't ever reach out to people. I'm never going to DM you. Please report any fake accounts that do that. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Sagittarius, and have a blessed May.